Hello and welcome to Floyd Models Kit View Time. Today we've got Eduard's latest release. This is the Hella 1/72nd scale Hawkeye or Eyes of the Fleet kit. So again, this is one of those aircraft which I've just got a really soft spot for. Love the Hawkeye. Last time I did one was the kinetic one in 1/48 scale. Beautiful kit. The one before I did that was the resin collect monstrosity, and then before that I did a couple of 72nd ones, as a lot of us did. Fujiyami one, which was obviously very nice, obviously Hasegawa's, things like that. But here we've now got a brand new tooled kit from, technically it's Hella, in their new iterization, if you want to call or incarnation. Again, it's one of those ones where really have missed Hella. They brought out some fantastic kits, and a little bit like Airfix, it's that thing of nostalgia with Hella kits and things. Their raised detail was really nice, and I've done a couple of classic builds of theirs, so it's quite nice to see it now into something like this as well, where it's made its way over to Eduard, who've then released it under their branding of Eyes of the Fleet, being a limited edition kit. So it's nice to see the limited editions back as well. So the box art is beautiful, really nice, classic shot. To be honest with you, it reminds me very much of other kit manufacturers who've used the same shot and angle and all the rest of it, but again, it shows everything that you need to know about this car very nicely. It is 1/72nd scale, and this is the E-2C Hawkeye. All right, obviously there's different versions of these. There's the early versions, and there's the late turboprop ones and things like that. One, I think one's called the Super Hawkeye as well, is it, or whatever they call it. So you've got that one there. Some of the marking options, we'll look closely in a minute, are very nice. So you've got some nice options down in there with those. As I said, nice to see the Hella name, big and bold. I know obviously it's not Hella as we used to know it, but obviously it's nice to see the Hella name back as it is now. Kit number for this one is 2153. And then obviously down on here you've got some of the ones. So it's Hella plastic parts, which it's nice to see the Hella name, but obviously Hella getting them down in here as well. Photo etch parts, very much die cut mask set, as you might imagine. Decals for 4 marking options we've seen before, and it comes with resin wheels. So you've pretty much got everything you need, especially in a 72nd scale kit. So in the box, we are greeted by, if I can get it to stand up, there we go. One bag, literally. Hello Hella. At least it's in a bag. Last Hella kit I reviewed was just in a box, so at least it is in a bag. We do have obviously the instructions redone clearly by Eduard. Very nice indeed. Look at that at the moment. We've got the resin wheels. We'll take a closer look in a minute. We've got the die cut mask set, really handy to have. A little bit of photo etch as well. It's not colour, just the normal stuff. And we've got a huge big decal sheet, big old screw tops down in there as well for that one. So as always, we will start in the instructions. So there's a couple of bits and pieces down in here obviously you're not using, clearly is the gear. All right, so obviously it's basically saying down here not to use the wheels, because obviously we do have a brand new resin set down in there, so we don't need to use those. Apart from that, the rest of it is just a few bits down in here as well. So it's got a decal for the instrument panel, fair enough, and obviously we are dealing in this scale. Harnesses are decals as well, so right the way through, making up the flight deck goes right the way through. Nose assembly with the gear and the usual bits and pieces down in there. We've got the big center console with the power levers, things like that. Again, it's decals that make up all the details down in there, and decals for the side consoles as well. All right, then we've got down on the other side, making up obviously the fantastic tail that it has with the 4 tail planes on the back here for the verticals down in there. Static discharges are made out of photo etch, so again some very nice fine details being put all over those. The center section above, because obviously it is a wing fold set on this one, and we've got the flaps, so obviously you can have them up or down with the flaps right the way through. Working obviously main fuselage halves, doing some of the details down in here as well. So we've got one of the bays on the side down in there. We've got the over the head panel as well. It's with the various ones going down, decals on those as you might expect. Popping the windows on the inside, fair enough, and then obviously putting that top overhead panel being fitted down in there just like that. All right, and then basically just going to be popping the entire cockpit set in, nose with the lights going down in there, tail hook onto the fuselage one, and away you go. And as Mr. Rabbit does point out, don't forget to put your nose weight in, although it doesn't say how much, so don't know. I always say you can't go wrong with too much. All right, because that way you just know it's not. We've got the old cooling pack on the side, the AC unit down in there as well. fitted on, tailplanes going on, the main sort of wing spar section being fitted down onto the roof, and then we're going down with the engine. So there's no real detail to these on them, but again, got a nice little bit of detail in the actual wheel wells, and then obviously main gear being fitted up and down into those just like that. All right, again, both engines then being fitted onto the actual nacelle points underneath the actual main wing spars down in there. And then again, we've got a couple of photo etch pieces as well being fitted down underneath those. I think these are the sort of blanking areas for the cooling of the actual flaps. So when the flaps down, they don't get cooked. All right, so we've got some metal plates down in there. Doors being fitted. Obviously, we've got the Browsen aftermarket resin gear being fitted down onto that one as well. Same goes with the nose. Then we've got the boarding ladder or steps being fitted down into this one, into that boarding area that we popped in before. Down the bottom, again, depending on what version you're doing, we've got the, I think it's the Doppler radar system being fitted down onto the belly of that one. Again, it's specific to the version. Tail hook can say up or down if you're going to be doing it. The usual bits and pieces and the small lumps and bumps, as you might imagine, all over these. Static dischargers right the way over the outer wing parts, both wings, flaps being fitted down onto all of those. And then obviously you can have it in the wings out in flight mode, or you can have them folded back. Highly recommend folded back because it's great then, it sits on a shelf. All right, the Frisbee on the roof. So obviously Frisbee set being fitted down in there as well. And then obviously the various things for the cooling lump that goes at the front here. So another big old intake to keep the electronics cool. And then obviously we've got the stand for the Frisbee on the roof being fitted down onto the fuselage. Glass parts going in from the outside. Really nice touch with the way they've done that. I'll talk about that in a moment. And then obviously all the antennas being fitted onto this one. Difference of the props as well. So we've got the usual props. So we've got the big old feathered 8-prop system down onto this one as well. So again, depending on the version you're doing, most of them are going to have the sort of the more props, or you've got the old fashioned with the straight props down there as well. All right, a couple of pitot tubes being fitted down onto the nose. And then there we go. So again, mask set down in here, talking about the masking of it. Very nice indeed. And we've got your masking markings down here as well. So we've got VAW123. So again, really nice with that one down in there. And then over here for the screw tops, we've got the big old screw tops markings down into this one. And then this one, which is very, very nice with the pale blue right the way through from VAW120 as well. So we've got that one being fitted down onto there. This one has the huge eagle's head on the Frisbee as well. So again, some intricate type of masking and things going on down in here, but be well worth it as well. Something seems quite bold and plain compared to these ones as well. So we've got this one down in here, which is this one from? Is this a training one? VAW121 as well down in here with the playing cards on the tail. And again, it's got the big blade prop on the top. Again, looking very nice. And again, very nice with the sort of the blue streaks down in here as well. VAW121 in the high vis markings. So again, a couple of nice options with all of those. And again, this one gets my vote because it's got shark's mouth on the intake. Very nice. Stencil data, there's not a ton of it, even on 70 seconds, so that's not too bad. There's enough to make it interesting, but not to go too much over the top, considering it is a naval aircraft after all. Decals. We have a huge big decal sheet down in here as well, which I'm hoping I can just tease out the bag here. So, and again, huge big decal sheet. It is done by themselves. This is their own decals again. But to be honest with you, I don't know if it's me, but this looks like a slightly different way. Just the way that the carrier film sits on this, it looks slightly more glossy. The ones I used to have a problem with were really, well, matte finished and all the rest of it. So you needed to peel them off to get a nice finish to them. These don't. I'm hoping that perhaps this is very much the old school of decals, maybe. But anyway, I'll reserve judgment when I get to them. And again, it's Marmite. You either love them or hate them. It would seem to be with these as well. Walkways, very big. So again, take your time getting those down in there, but you'll be absolutely fine. So some very, very nice ones. We've got a couple of other ones there and all the stencil data down in that section. Other parts that we've got, as I said, we've got the resin wheels. So again, really nice little upgrade to that one. They are weight on wheels as well. So they've got a little bit of flat spot and bulged on the bottom, which is nice. And of course, we've got the photo etch. So again, not a lot, but it's enough. Obviously, the anti-static wicks down the bottom here, you can see we've got loads of those down in there. And obviously, we do come with a mask set as well, which is a die cut Marset, which is really very, very handy indeed. So over in the bag, let me try and get in the bag here. Zip that out of the way. We have, okay, let's start with the big ones first. So big old sprue, because it's actually quite a large aircraft. So what we got down in here, some very nice details down in here. In 72nd, the panel lining is very nice and recessed. We've got some riveting. To be honest, it's actually nicely done. Hopefully you can see down in here, the camera plays ball with the lighting on this. It looks pretty darn good to me. Very, very nice. Tail areas. But the quality of the panel lining looks very, very nice indeed. What I do like as well, it's got all the frameworks all molded in and the glass work goes in from the outside. So what that really enables you to do is sort of get in there last without having it as a one-piece glass fit and you've got a terrible seam line at the back or trying to fit it in there. So I'm more than happy that they've done it this way. All right. And again, the tail areas with all those access panels molded in, they're all very, very nice indeed. Obviously there's nothing on the inside, but it's nice and clean and crisp right the way through on there. So yeah, I have to say that's actually very, very nice indeed. All right. Then obviously we've got the wings down in here, looking very much the part. They're all, we've actually got these panels open up, so it's got the latches for holding it back when it's in the fold back position, if you're wondering what they are. Pretty important. Again, we've got some riveting detail down in there, some nice excess panels with riveting around them, very fine crisp panel lines, and again the engines. So again, the same way as even the 48 scales have done it as well, is have these blanks in here for the different styles of engines being fitted down in here. So again, very nice. That's that bulge for the radar on the belly. And obviously you've got the wing flaps, the various parts. Again, these are the scoops for the side and for the roof. Get the cooling into there. Rotation things. And we've got the ailerons down there on the outside. So again, another very, very nice detail. And again, nice touch. This is the detail we're shown with those wing panels open. You'll see this on the inside, which is the latching mechanism for clipping them back and holding them back. So again, nice little touch with those. The Frisbee. So the Frisbee famously had these little dents on the bottom, which obviously a lot of people don't know, down in there. But again, some really, really nice touches on here. First one catches my eye, of course, is the cockpit. So again, some very nice details on the side panels down in here. I know it talks about decals, but honestly, I would be inclined to just paint and dry brush. Looks very, very nice. The excess inside with the bulkhead looks good. The details as well for the wings fold look very nice indeed. The instrument panel, again, very, very nice touch to it. And all the gear and all the parts. To be honest with you, it's actually beautifully done. Very, very nice indeed. And again, as for ejector pins, they are so flush, you can hardly feel them. So no sign of flash, no sign of any nasties or anything else like that whatsoever. I haven't seen a sink mark. Good, clean, crisp. My only drawback is we have got some rogue parts that have come off and started to float around, which obviously you always have to be slightly wary about. So it's obviously these are the ones from this sprue here. So sprue D, we've got the gear, we've got the exhausts, got the seats, and again, very fine details. These are the difference with the plots. We've got the 8-blade prop down in here versus the 4 on this side. Really very, very nice indeed with all of those. Put them out of the way. And obviously it's a match pair really for both sides. So the props are all on this one. So again, very, very nice. And a good angle on those props as well. Looks very, very nice. Okay, last up we have the all important clear parts. So again, because we haven't got a huge cockpit section, this should be very nice indeed, and which it is. And again, down in here we've got these windows with nice good areas around them so you can get the glue in there. I'm not going to do them. Slight bulge obviously to the pilot and co-pilot's windows on the sides. yeah, all of that, to be honest, looks very, very nice indeed. And there we have it. I have to say, I am not disappointed. We've been wanting a really nice new tooled Hawkeye for some time. I never thought Hella would have done it in a million years, but they've done it, and I think they've nailed it absolutely. Really nice with this one as well. You can do the slightly older version with the newer version, so it's all in one kit. We know obviously something that's what obviously has happened now with the 48 scale with the kinetic one. They do a dual kit now with both parts in it, which is really nice, instead of stringing it out and doing two separately. So from a buying point of view, you've got the options to do both. Also, I have to say the decals look very nice, even though I'm not traditionally a fan of their decals since they stopped using Cartograph, but those ones, they like quite glossy, quite nice, good color, things like that as well. So I think they should work really, really nice without having to do that peel off business and all the rest of it. Just put them down, leave them, and you'll be absolutely fine. But there it is, a fantastic kit and an absolute must from me. So there we have it, a beautiful kit, and I think it's an absolute must on this one. So if you do fancy doing a Hawkeye, this is definitely the kit for you. So there we go, that is Eduard's 1/72 scale Eyes of the Fleet. Also, it's the Hella 1/72 Hawkeye.